Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Yeshi Chonzom. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Monday, the 9th of August. Major attack averted as security forces bust terrorist hideout. 2 terrorists held in India's Jammu and Kashmir. Indian Olympic medalists return home to grand welcome and huge celebrations. And Taliban captures key cities in northern Afghanistan as attacks continue. And now for all the details. A major attack was averted ahead of the Independence Day celebrations on August 15 as India's paramilitary border security force along with the army and local police on Monday busted a terrorist hideout in Jammu and Kashmir's Poonch district, while 2 Hizbul Mujahideen terrorists were arrested from Kishtwar. Meanwhile, in another incident, a leader of India's ruling Bharatiya Janata Party and his wife were shot dead by terrorists in Anantnag district.
India's paramilitary border security force or BSF in a joint operation along with army and the police on Monday averted a major terrorist strike before the Independence Day by seizing a huge cache of arms and ammunition from a hideout in Jammu and Kashmir's Poonch, while 2 Hizbul Mujahideen terrorists were arrested from Kishtwar. The seized arms and ammunition include 2 AK-47 rifles, 4 AK-47 magazines, 1 Chinese pistol and 10 pistol magazines among others. The cache of arms and ammunition was seized in a forested area near village Sangat in Poonch.
On the intervening night of 5th and 6th August, we got the news that 2 youth were missing and probably they were involved in some militancy activities and they would be joining. So upon that, the joint teams of police, army and paramilitary forces, we laid nakas and upon the receiving of technical inputs and the entire team worked out and we have apprehended them.
Meanwhile, a leader of India's ruling Bharatiya Janata Party and his wife were shot dead by terrorists in Anantnag district of Jammu and Kashmir, officials said on Monday. The couple succumbed to their injuries on their way to the hospital. The incident comes a day after the National Investigation Agency on Sunday conducted raids at various locations in Anantnag in a terror funding case.
At a time when China is expeditiously building its capability to operate fighters near eastern Ladakh, India is also looking to expand its capability to operate fixed-wing aircraft from facilities near the border with China. On Sunday, the Indian Air Force showcased its capability to carry out special operations from a Chinook heavy-lift helicopter over the Nyoma Advanced Landing Ground in Ladakh territory near disputed China border.
The Indian Air Force demonstrated special operations and conducted sorties in northern Ladakh territory near disputed China border on Sunday. IAF's Apache 64E, Mi-17 and Chinook helicopters participated in the drill along with transport aircraft C-130J. An air traffic control room was also set up at the Advanced Landing Ground ALG near the border. Nyoma Advanced Landing Ground has a strong strategic importance due to its close proximity to the line of actual control, the LAC, dividing India and China. It bridges the critical gap between Leh airfield and the LAC, enabling quick movement of men and material in eastern Ladakh, which overcomes terrain frictions.
The fighters have been operating regularly in this area earlier as well. The development of infrastructure for fixed-wing operations from this ALG is planned in the near future. The positioning of fighter aircraft would be governed by the operational requirement.
Nyoma Advanced Landing Ground will also help in quicker access to the heights and sustenance operations thereafter. It also improves the connectivity of eastern Ladakh region. The region witnessed the Galwan Valley clash last year between Indian and the Chinese troops, where 20 Indian soldiers and at least 4 Chinese troops were killed. Since then, the two countries, which fought a war in 1962, had moved thousands of troops, tanks, artillery guns and combat jets close to the border. India and China have not been able to agree on their 2,200 miles long border since the war in 1962.
India's Olympics contingent, including first athletics gold medalist Neeraj Chopra and bronze medalist wrestler Bajrang Punia and boxer Lovlina Burgohain on Monday, received a grand welcome back home as they landed in New Delhi after their noteworthy performances in Tokyo Olympics. India bagged a total of 7 medals this time, the biggest games haul ever. Going into the final day of the competition on Saturday, the nation of 1.3 billion erupted in joy after 23-year-old Neeraj Chopra won the men's javelin at the Tokyo Games to secure India's first ever Olympic athletics gold post-independence. While Chopra added the golden sheen, the silver medals came from weightlifter Mirabai Chanu and wrestler Ravi Kumar Dahiya. The bronze medals were claimed by boxer Lovlina Burgohain, shuttler PV Sindhu and the men's hockey team and wrestler Bajrang Punia. The contingent was felicitated by the government in a ceremony later in the evening.
मेरा सपना था कि मैं मेडल जीत के इंडिया में आऊं और आज बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है इन लोगों के बाद इंडिया आके सब लोगों को मिलके बहुत मतलब अच्छा लग रहा है.
In news from Afghanistan, Afghan commandos launched a counter-attack on Monday to try to beat back Taliban fighters who overran the northern city of Kunduz a day earlier, with residents fleeing the conflict describing the almost constant sound of gunfire and explosions. Taliban fighters overran 3 provincial capitals, including the strategic northeastern city of Kunduz on Sunday, local officials said, as the insurgents intensified pressure on the north and threatened further cities. The insurgents have taken dozens of districts and border crossings in recent months and put pressure on several provincial capitals, including Herat in the west and Kandahar in the south, as foreign troops withdraw. Taliban fighters seized key government buildings in Kunduz, leaving government forces hanging on to control of the airport and a base, raising fears it could be the latest to fall to the Taliban. Taliban spokesman Hizbul Mujahideen in a tweet on Monday said the group has also taken control of Aibak, the capital of Samangan province. The Taliban have earlier taken government buildings in the northern provincial capital of Sarepul. Meanwhile, fighting is underway between Afghan security forces and Taliban in the northern provinces of Balkh and Takhar since Sunday night. Afghan Defense Ministry spokesperson Fawad Aman on Monday said the Taliban attack in Dehdadi district of Balkh province failed as a result of reciprocal operation by security forces. The offensive has gathered momentum in recent days after the United States announced it would end its military mission in the country by the end of August. In recent days, Taliban have escalated attacks on northern provinces, which lie outside their traditional strongholds in the south, but where the group has been quickly taking ground, often along the border of Afghanistan's Central Asian neighbors and trading partners, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan and Uzbekistan. In news from Sri Lanka, health experts in Sri Lanka have called for the re-imposition of travel restrictions as hospitals and allied medical facilities have reached a breaking point in the island nation amid the rapid transmission of the deadly Delta variant of COVID-19. The situation is so grave that there are 3 COVID-linked deaths in the country every hour, the Vice President of Sri Lanka Medical Association said. The authorities have relaxed restrictions placed since early May. As of Monday, COVID-19 cases tally in Sri Lanka stood at 329,994. The country's vaccine program has been ramped up in recent weeks with nearly 500,000 people inoculated every day. Out of the country's population of 22 million, over 10 million above the age of 30 have received at least 1 dose of a vaccine, according to the Health Ministry. Moving on. Residents of a remote village in Manich in Gilgit Baltistan have accused the Pakistani authorities of turning a blind eye towards the infrastructural development and cleaning of a filthy pond in their area, which has continued to afflict their lives. They blamed Islamabad consistently maintains an oppressive attitude towards people of the illegally occupied region.
Residents of a remote area in Manich in illegally occupied region of Gilgit Baltistan have accused the Pakistan government of deliberately neglecting and turning a blind eye towards the cleaning of a pond in their village, which has become a repository of garbage and stinking water. They expressed anger that authorities have continued to ignore their repeated pleas to divert the influx of dirty sewerage which flows into the ancient pond. A villager said it was very difficult to even pass through the area as the stagnant water with a layer of algae upon it had made it a hazardous place.
लोगों के जितने भी गटर लाइन है या सीन बाला से लेकर इधर तक उनके गटर का निकासी का पानी भी उन चैनल में लगाते हैं। ज़्यादातर ये गटर का पानी है। उसके बाद इस तालाब के अंदर जो गंदगी है वो आपको बराह रास्त नज़र आ रही है। तो इस गंदगी इसमें फिर मच्छर, फिर मुख्तलिफ बीमारियों के ख़तरात सब कुछ यहाँ पे हमें है। इसका कोई फुरसान हाल नहीं है। तो इससे तकरीबन यहाँ के 24 घरानों को तकलीफ़ है।
Locals in Gilgit Baltistan have long blamed Islamabad consistently maintains its oppressive attitude towards the people of the illegally occupied region and ignores even their basic demands.
51 Pakistani Hindu nationals who had arrived in India for a holy dip in the river Ganges want to return to their homes as they have been stuck in India due to COVID-19 induced lockdown since last year. Reportedly, they are unable to cross the border as they do not possess the relevant documents since they have jumped their visas.
Pakistani nationals who had come to India for a holy dip in the Ganges River in India's northern Haridwar city said on Sunday that they wanted to return to their homes after being stuck in India since last year due to coronavirus lockdown. Around 51 Pakistani Hindu nationals who had come to India in 2020 appealed to the authorities in northern Amritsar city to help them return to their native places. Reportedly, the authorities are not allowing them to cross the border as they did not possess the relevant documents since they have jumped their visas.
हरिद्वार आए थे और लॉकडाउन लग गया, फिर यहीं पे रह गए, फिर जोधपुर गए, वहाँ पे काम कूम किया, घर का खर्चा पानी चलाने के लिए हमने मेहनत मजदूरी की, फिर हमने डीसी अफसर से रिक्वेस्ट की है कि हमें वापस भेजा जाए पाकिस्तान अपने गांव।
मेरी मम्मी सारे सब पूरे उधर ही है, पापा मम्मी बहनें भाई सब इधर ही है, हम भी 2 जने आए, मेरा पति हमारे को पास वापस जाना है बस।
Meanwhile, local authorities said they were first making boarding and lodging arrangements for these Pakistani nationals and then they would explore options for sending them back to Pakistan.
People in Nepal's Bhaktapur recently burnt effigies of a mythical demon to celebrate Gathe Mangal festival, which is held during the monsoon month of Shravan according to Hindu calendar. Gathe Mangal marks the victory of good over evil and is one of the most important festivals of Newari community.
People in Nepal's Bhaktapur recently celebrated the Gathe Mangal festival, which marks the death of mythical demon Ghantakarna and is held during the monsoon month of Shravan according to the Hindu calendar. Despite coronavirus pandemic, residents gathered in huge numbers to participate in the festival as an effigy of Ghantakarna or bell ears was erected using hay straws and other decorative items on a street to be burnt later, marking the victory of good over evil. Gathe Mangal ushers in good fortunes with much fanfare and is one of the most important festivals celebrated by the Newari community.
कीटाणुहरूले चाहिँ रोग व्याधि आउने ल्याउने अवस्था भएको हुनाले यो गाठामगज जलाएर छाली बालेर पराल बालेर चाहिँ धुवाँ निकालिन्छ। धुवाँ निकालिसकेपछि यो लामखुट्टेहरू चाहिँ भाग्छ। त्यसैले चाहिँ हरेक वर्ष चाहिँ यो गाठामगज बनाएर चाहिँ बाल्ने चलन छ।
Numerous legends are associated with this festival while nobody knows its exact origin. According to a legend, Ghantakarna, who wore earrings made of bells, terrorized and killed people. He was guided by frogs into a swamp as he was trying to find human settlements and was defeated by people who threw stones at him while he was stuck in mud.
Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/AsAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @AsAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.